Texas GOP Chair Abraham George, thank you so much. Happy holidays and welcome back to Eye on Politics.
Thanks for having me.
So let's talk about Congresswoman Kay Granger, the longtime Republican member of Congress from Fort Worth. What was your reaction to the news that her statement that she acknowledged that she has had health problems during the past year and that her son told the Dallas Morning News that those issues include dementia issues late in the year?
Yeah, so, it comes down to what does it mean to be a representative, right? So I learned about it a couple days ago, just like everybody else did through media. And it was concerning, to be honest with you. I mean, we've had the same conversation about Joe Biden over the last 4 years, multiple times, and it's the same issue. It doesn't matter which part of the party you're in. I mean, this is a representative republic, and that she's not available to cast a important ballots. That's very concerning to the party.
And what would you like to have seen happen in this case?
Well, honestly, I think if she was not available, she should have stepped down. I get it. She was retiring the last, about a year or so. She said she's not running again. So we expected something as serious as this, that she should have stepped down and let a special election happen or a governor to get involved and things like that. So unfortunately, none of that happened. And at this point, it doesn't matter because there's only a couple of weeks left in this term. So we're going to move on from this, but we wanted to see. I was talking to some members of Congress and some DC insiders, and they're saying there's more than a half a dozen members who are doing something similar to this, and that's from both sides of the party, and it's very concerning to our government, to the people and United States. So we would love to see something better than what's happening now.
And you said that you think that she should have stepped down, whether it's either in late summer. Her last vote, according to the official congressional website, was July 24th. And you're saying after that, she should have just stepped down. Sources familiar with the situation told me that she had notified leadership about this and said that she would go to Washington, D.C. to be there for a crucial vote if necessary.
Well, yes, and that's great. But it also comes down to, does she have the mental capacity to read a bill, to understand what she is casting a ballot for? Or is it some staffers going to tell her, hey, this is how we are supposed to do this, and this is what we want you to do? An elected official is the only person who is responsible to the district. And I know I'm being very critical about this, but I think the people will agree with me on this, that a staffer who is getting paid by, the congressional staff members are not elected members of our representative group. So whenever she or any other member who believes that they do not have the mental capacity to represent the district and do the work, they should step down at that point. It doesn't matter if it's Republican or a Democrat.
And what do you make of her legacy? She was the first Republican woman to be chair of the powerful House Appropriations Committee, first Republican woman to serve in Congress from Texas, and first woman to be mayor in Fort Worth.
Yeah, she's got an amazing legacy. She's been a very good she's been a champion for Republican causes and conservative values. She brought in a lot of work to her district and for Texas. She's done a great job for Texas. There's nobody's going to question her on her work ethic and what she's done for her district and for state of Texas. It's just amazing. This just few months or maybe a year and a half or whatever the time period that she had this problem, now it's just becoming a black mark on her entire legacy and her record. And we just don't like that. And her constituents probably feel the same way.
Let me ask you about the Texas speaker's race. As you know, coming up on January 14th is the first day of the next legislative session. That's when lawmakers in the House are going to vote for the speaker. And as of now, it's come down to David Cook, representative from Mansfield, who won the House GOP caucus, and he's being challenged by a fellow Republican representative, Dustin Burrows of Lubbock. So what do you make of this race and the fact that not everyone in the House GOP caucus is backing Representative Cook?
Well, the Representative Cook has 62 members on his side now, and we need 76. So there's 14 more people, Republicans that we're working with, trying to figure out who is going to be able to move over to the right side. The GOP caucus have the rule that everyone will back the nominee, and trying to figure out how to get all of this worked behind the scenes. Texas Republican Party have made its stand very clear that we are supporting David Cook. We did not take a position on a candidate until after the caucus came together and chose David Cook as the nominee. Now we are getting behind him. We are behind him, and we're actually sending out text messages to the districts who Republican members who is not on board with the caucus nominee yet. We have mailers going out. We have a TV ad playing in Lubbock. So the party is taking this very seriously. And SREC a couple of weeks ago came together, passed a resolution that any person who is not getting behind the caucus nominee may be met with penalties moving forward.
What kind of penalties?
Well, the Rule 44 of the Republican Party allows the Republican Party to censure members of our side, and also to say if there are multiple violations such as this happening over time, that the party if the party members feel that they're not really on our side, they're more working with the Democrats or working as Democrats, we may ask them to step down from being on the ballot so that we can remove them from the ballot in the next cycle. So we're not there yet. We're not even having these conversations among ourselves yet, but it is a possibility if that's what it's going to end up.
So, I mean, should these members, these Republican members who are supporting Representative Burrows, be concerned that the Texas GOP will be trying to find alternative Republican candidates to challenge them in a primary?
Pretty much. Yep.
And so let me ask you about that ad you were talking about that's running in Lubbock. Whose decision was that, and what feedback have you gotten about that, which is very critical of Dustin Burrows, obviously going against the will of the House GOP caucus?
The decision came from me and our officials committee we did that. And also while the caucus was meeting to choose their nominee, the SREC was in session as well, the exact same weekend. So the SREC made a decision to not only put it out there that we are getting behind a nominee who would not put Democrats in committee chairmanships, who will take Republican priorities before it goes to Democrat priorities on the floor. And we will not, hold and kill Republican priorities in calendars committees and other committees. So we took it as a main thing that, okay, we need a speaker who is going to push Republican priorities. We've had a huge win in Texas, and we added 2 more House members this time around and a Senate member. And to go and support Democrat policies is just absurd. And Texans don't want that. And they clearly sent that message during the last November election. So we just want to make sure our members who were elected under Republican name understands that. So it's a decision that is costing the party a lot of money, and unfortunately, that's what we have to do. I would rather fight a Democrat on a given day, but any given day. But it also comes down to, what does it mean to be a Republican? What does it mean to be elected as a Republican? Are you going to support the party's principles and priorities that elected you? So that's where we're at.
What do you say to those Republicans who are supporting Representative Burrows who believe that Representative Cook is just not conservative enough?
Well, it doesn't, there are concerns about that from both sides. People are making that allegations. I don't know Representative Cook well enough to say that. I've looked at his records and he seems very conservative. what really mattered to us, the reason why we got behind him is he is the nominee from the Republican caucus. And the other is he has agreed to us saying that he will put no Democrats in committee chairs, that he will only support, he will support all of our priorities, including banning taxpayer-funded lobbying, having the power grid reconstruction and boosting the power grid, things like that are not really a Republican issue. It's a Texas issue. He's agreed to get behind all of those, and that made us go and support him. That was the whole thing. It's not about how his voting record is. Obviously, we looked at that, but the caucus chose him, and that's what we want to get behind.
So my last question is, I saw Representative Jean Wu from Houston, who's now the House Democratic Caucus chair, saying that both Representatives Cook and Burrows are courting Democrats to become Speaker. What do you make of that?
I don't know what's happening behind the scenes. I haven't talked to David Cook about this. I definitely haven't talked to Boris about this. My goal is to make sure that we get our nominee across the line and we get our priorities done. That's what matters to the party and for the people who are working to get these people elected. Grassroots members, precinct chairs, county chairs. So it matters to them. 130 some county chairs signed on to it. Many counties are passing resolution against people who are standing against David Cook. So there is a huge amount of pushback from having these division inside the party. Governor Abbott came out and publicly said, we need the caucus nominee to be the speaker. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick said that. Ken Paxton said that. Sid Miller said that. So it's and Don Jr. from bringing in from outside, and many of our congressional members are talking about this. So they're all pushing for David Cook. So that's where we are at. I think we're going to win. We just need to get 76, and there's 88 Republicans. Maybe we may end up having some Democrats come on our side. I don't know yet.
Texas GOP Chair Abraham George, thank you as always. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to you.
Merry Christmas, Jack.